Do you want to know the hardest part about negotiating brand deals when you're starting out? You don't know what you don't know. You don't know if the price you're giving is too low or too high. You don't know if all the things they're asking for are okay to agree to. You don't know if the timeline they want is realistic. You don't know whether you're allowed to say no to things. Have you ever felt like that? Well, if you have, that's embarrassing. Just kidding. You're not alone. When my wife and I started on YouTube over 10 years ago, that happened to us all the time. But you're in luck because there are 5 brand deal pricing mistakes that I see being made all the time. So if you like money and would actually like people to pay you more money than you're currently making, then buckle up. The first brand deal pricing mistake, and one of the most common, is not asking the brand what the goal of the campaign is. I'm not joking when I say that your rate can go from $500 to $5,000 once you find out what the brand is trying to accomplish and exactly what they're trying to get out of the partnership. Pretty much every single brand deal you'll ever do comes down to 3 types of campaign goals: conversion, content repurposing, and brand awareness. A conversion-focused campaign is where the brand is trying to drive some sort of action like sales, clicks, optimizing for a click-through rate, app downloads, and so on. If a brand is primarily interested in content repurposing, they're likely going to care about the number of assets you can create for them, right? Can you make platform-specific cuts, like one for YouTube and one for TikTok and one for Instagram? And then there are campaigns focused on brand awareness, where they're going to be most interested in vanity metrics like impressions and engagement and views. If you don't know which of these things the brand is focusing on, how can you possibly craft a compelling pitch during the negotiation? You're probably wondering, okay, after I figure out the goal, how should that change my pricing? Well, that's exactly the type of thing I cover in my course, Brand Deal Wizard. So click the link below to stay updated on when enrollment for the next class starts. So let's talk about the second brand deal pricing mistake, which I have coined the due rule. And I'm not talking about when the content is due, even though that is important. And side note, why do creators always turn things in late? Stop doing that. Seriously. So due rule, what I'm talking about is DUE, deliverables, usage rights, and exclusivity. When brands reach out asking for your rates, you need to know how much work you need to do, right? Which platforms are they interested in? YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, your blog, a billboard on a bench in downtown LA? All of this really does matter. Another thing to know is the medium that's going to be used. Do they want photos or videos? Or maybe they want both, which requires a lot more resources and planning. How many posts do they want, right? If you find out that they actually want to hire you to create content for them every single month, that's a lot different than a one-off collaboration. Don't you think your pricing should change to reflect that? Is your head spinning right now? Good. Let me spin it some more because we're not done. Usage rights, right? Do they want to use your content for paid advertising, or do they just want to reshare it on their social platforms? How long do they want to do that for? Are they asking for perpetual usage, which means forever? By the way, don't agree to that unless they want to, drive a literal garbage truck of money onto your driveway and just kind of dump it there. And perhaps most importantly, exclusivity. You need to know if you're not allowed to work with the brand's competitors and exactly who those competitors are and for how long. What happens when you agree to a 1-year exclusivity with a brand and 9 months down the line, which is a long time by the way, one of their competitors approaches you and wants to partner? You literally can't do it, and you just lost out on a paycheck. I know a creator who accidentally agreed to a 5-year exclusivity clause on a free mattress. They weren't even paid. So paying attention to these things matters, and you need to price your deals accordingly. Third brand deal pricing mistake: stop negotiating against yourself. Okay, now repeat after me. Never will I ever say, well, I usually charge X, but I'm happy to do it for X minus Y. I literally cannot tell you how many times I've seen creators do this. Give the brand your rate and shut up. And trust me, I understand when you're starting out, you really want to close those first few brand deals, but all you're going to do is make it harder for you to get paid what you're really worth and easier for the brand to commoditize you. Have some confidence. Maybe I should release a product where it's like $20 and all I do is just get on the phone with creators and hype them up for 10 minutes. Just tell them how awesome they are. It's actually a good idea. Fourth brand deal pricing mistake: not offering multiple packages. Believe it or not, 99% of creators don't do this. Whenever a brand asks you how much you charge for, let's say, one IG post, one IG story, never spit back just one number. You need to have multiple packages priced differently. And yes, even if they don't ask for it. You have to remember that the brand is likely working with more than one creator at a time. So if they see that you can offer a package that gives them 3 posts instead of 2, even if it's more expensive, what does that do for them? It makes their life easier. That's one less email thread to manage, one less contract, one less briefing call, one less invoice, right? It just simplifies everything. So next brand deal, give them at least 3 packages, and then I want you to report back to me with what happens. Deal? Okay, so the 5th brand deal pricing mistake. Are you ready? Not walking away when you really should. Look, not every deal is gonna work out, and that's okay. There are a lot of moving parts when it comes to sponsorships, many of which you have no control over. Even if a brand wants to work with you, they may simply not be able to afford you. Don't get angry. Don't be rude. Be nice. I have literally had brands who couldn't afford my wife's and my rates come back to us 6 months later with a more robust budget. So I can guarantee you that this happens. The best brand deals are ones that not only pay your rate, but also love your work. Don't make the mistake of setting a low pricing precedent that's really hard to dig your way out of, especially if it turns into a long-term thing. Don't be desperate, play the long game, and just trust that a better deal will be around the corner. So what other brand deal pricing mistakes have you made in the past? This is a safe space, so let me know in the comments, and then hit subscribe and click the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when my next video comes out. And one more thing, do you want intel on new brand deal campaigns? Every week I send out sponsorship opportunities exclusively to creators on my email list, so make sure to join using the link below.